I am glad we got one. I am glad that we are accumulating here and not there, up there. All right. Whereas that this elongates and we're getting the red up here, where every dollar is a fraction of what it means right now to us. So at the end of the day, this is more bullish for us over time. But I just wanted you to understand why I was expecting that perhaps this year was going to be a green year, because we did not get that elongated move, that surge before the pause like we have in the past. All right. The only thing we can do, guys, is use the past. We can't read the future. All right. We can't ever be 100% right. And the only thing that we can use is the past to extrapolate what the future might bring. And all of these things are suppositions based on history, but it's the only thing we have to use. We have nothing else to use but the past. All right. All right. So, but very, very interesting. Now, what concerns me about this, I want to let you know. You see, I'm glad we're getting Bitcoin at cheap prices here. I am very glad of that. All right. I was able to catch up a lot faster to where I want it to be because this year was down, actually. But what concerns me a little is my technical knowledge of when a market falls from a little bar. You see, when you fall from after a big bar, you typically fall about halfway and then you resume. You see, when you fall from a big bar, you fall in that upper portion of the fat bar and you resume. That is what is typical. When you fall from a little bar, it's usually a bigger fall. So, from a technical point of view, I would not be just technical. I would not be surprised. All right, that's just from my technical knowledge. I am not saying that is going to happen. I'm actually, my deepest belief is that that's not likely to happen. But my technical knowledge says that's likely to happen because from a technical point of view, drops from little bars are deeper than normal. Drops from big bars are milder. All right. That's the only thing that's the only thing that I won't say I'm worried about. I'm not worried about it for me. I'm worried about that for, I guess, some of the more nervous members that we have. All right. I'd welcome it, but I do have a responsibility to worry about you. So I do. All right. That's the only thing that gives me pause here. All right. About next year being really solid green. All right, let me see if I can get some questions here. Hi, boss. There seems to be a coordinated effort by governments around the world to ban BTC centralized exchanges. How is this will affect the BTC future? I actually don't agree with that. I don't agree that governments are attempting to ban all centralized exchanges. I think that there's more of an effort to bring centralized exchanges onshore, all right, and to put them under tighter regulations. So to basically control the centralized exchanges. For instance, the U.S. is not If the US had an intent on banning centralized exchanges, they would not have approved Coinbase to be a publicly traded company. That's as centralized an exchange as you can possibly get, right? So it's that what governments don't like are their citizens basically dealing with offshore centralized exchanges, but it's partly their fault for not providing clear regulatory clarity. So firms have gone offshore where they have less restrictions to do what they want to do because in their country, there's not clear regulations yet. And so I don't think there's an intent to ban it. I think that at this particular point, the key governments are clear enough that this can't be banned. It just needs to be, the exchanges need to be regulated. And I think that it's very clear to most governments around the world now that you can't ban Bitcoin. Guys, Bitcoin can never be banned. You can never ban me from holding 12 words in my head. No one can ban you for holding 12 words in your head. And no one can ban us from exchanging value. No one in the world can ever stop me from sending Bitcoin to you. No one in the world can stop you from sending Bitcoin to me. No one in the world can stop me from holding words in my head. And no one in the world can take words out of my head. Do you understand? So because Bitcoin, this is what makes Bitcoin the money of the people. It can't be controlled. It is not controlled by a single human being, nor a single organization, nor a single nation state. It runs autonomously, all by itself, without any human intervention. Governments today understand this. What they want to do is control the on-ramps, all right? And that can, quite honestly, slow down adoption. There is no doubt about it. So if, for instance, the on-ramps like Coinbase and Binance and Kraken, if the on-ramps are clamped down on, or to the point where they're regulated out of existence, then that can slow adoption down. I believe it's too late. It's too late for your key governments to think that that is even possible. There's too much institutional interest in the space. There's too much big, wealthy money in the space. That's just not going to happen. I wouldn't be overly concerned with that. And as a Bitcoiner, I'm sort of, I can't say that I'm welcoming regulation, but something has to be done to really put the clamp down on these Ponzi schemes out here. I believe that the Ponzi schemes slow Bitcoin adoption down more than anything else. I think the fraud like that occurred in Celsius and FTX, that slows down adoption of Bitcoin more than anything else, because your general public still lumps Bitcoin in with all of that BS. And so for them, it's all the same. All right. And it stops adoption. It slows adoption down. And if regulation can eliminate the Ponzi schemes or greatly diminish them and diminish or make it harder to defraud people out of their money, I believe that's good for Bitcoin adoption. I'm not a huge regulation fan, but I do see how if regulation slows that stuff down, that nonsense down, that is good for Bitcoin adoption. All right, guys, let's go back to this. I do want to finish this here.